According to deputies, Ross Moyne and the 15-year-old first met online 2 years ago through a virtual reality social platform known as VRChat.
Online gaming can be serious. Virtual relationships can lead to real-life exploitation.
Except, in this version of our world, everyone is anonymous and there is no such thing as laws. Only rules that when broken can be broken again by simply making a new account.
"2020. A 36-year-old man was arrested after living in a 15-year-old girl's closet for a month. 2022. A 25-year-old Florida man was arrested after kidnapping a 13-year-old girl in the state of Utah. 2023. A 26-year-old man was arrested after abducting a 13-year-old boy after stating that he was going to spend the rest of his life with him." 3 different stories, but all of these cases have one thing in common. Every single one of them have met through VRChat.
VRChat 18 and up.
The moderation is effectively non-existent.
18 plus verification.
Get that screams in my head.
While problems like this have always been a thing since the internet existed, I wanted to highlight an unfortunate issue today that we may have all seen develop across social games and apps like Roblox, Discord, and many more. In this video, we're going to examine VRChat, one of the most widely used virtual reality apps across VR and Oculus Quest. And while investigating, I realized from insiders that if I wanted to prove some things were real, I would have to get my hands dirty to unravel some of the game's darkest secrets. And it all ultimately led up to today, where I'm going to show you only a fraction of what I found. So grab your popcorn and drinks, and let's get into it. But first, let me explain what VRChat is. Let's say that you just got an idea for a game or an imaginary world. Maybe it's to race sports cars on a racetrack or an adventure through the galaxy in a spaceship observatory. Whatever it is, there's going to be a problem. It's going to be really hard to make. You have to model that race car, place each star in outer space, and code every single thing from scratch. And that's if you know where to start and how to start. But what if I told you that you could easily start creating your game or world right now? Well, you can. Welcome to VRChat. You might be thinking VRChat's just a kid's game, right? Well, this kid's game is home to a massive adult player base. But when there are adults on a platform that is initially intended for kids, as you'll see in this video, terrible things can happen. You have VRChat worlds that expose people to things even we shouldn't have seen, and of course in the shadows you have predators reeling in their young victims. Now, for us to understand how this game became this way, we have to turn to 2014 when the game was nothing but a startup in the VR scene. And we'll have to watch together how it evolved over time to be a game that people play and love. But in order to tell the story, we gotta go back to where it all began. So how did this happen? This is Graham Gaylor. He came in early in the VR scene when it was essentially the gold rush to create a VR application. Graham started creating VRChat in his college dorm until later when he met Jesse Judry, his co-founder. And then the rest was history as they began to work together as business partners and soon to be pioneers. They finally released a program called VRChat on January 16th, 2014. It was a game that would let you develop and create your own worlds or experiences. It was a huge hit at first, and the game would grow throughout the years and accumulate more and more. And in 2021, VRChat was valued at 320 to 480 million. But it didn't stop there. Looking back, when the two started, they realized they wanted this game to be a creative hit. They wanted it to be a workshop, so they decided to give players the tools to make whatever they want. And the way they did this was genius. They made this game run on a code called Udon. No, not the noodles. Udon is a programming language built completely in-house by the VRChat development team, which is one of the easiest ways to learn how to program. Now you're probably wondering, why are they making it easy? Because they were not only making a game, but a platform to upload whatever you wish, so that anyone who learned the simple code and modeling could make games, avatars, or anything themselves. But that isn't the genius part about it. That meant that Graham and Jesse didn't have to create a single game ever. They could sit back and watch as young and older developers mix, creating more and more games on the platform. It was brilliant, at least at first. Tons of people go on VRChat every day to play or talk with their friends. But over time, the site has changed, and not for the better, but for the worst. This 13+ game now has a huge adult player base, and a lot of the worlds are just to socialize or play games. But when you mix the adults with minors on the platform, it can lead to horrifying interactions, especially horrifying avatars or just creations in general. There are VRChat exotic dancers, drug use, and prostitution just roaming about this game. Some of the avatars or worlds created in VRChat are very harmful for kids who play the game. Some of these worlds are ranging from drinking games, gambling worlds, and to straight up fetish worlds.
A Vorsex dungeon that you pay $100 to enter. What you're seeing on the screen right now is the footage of that dungeon. As you can see by the entrance, it's a part of the EHC server, which is also the server that was used to sell VR slaves. No recording and no talking about EHC are the two that stand out the most to me. It was clear that Lizmatic was aware this wasn't an acceptable thing to do, which was probably why there was such a high paywall behind access to the world. Other features of this dungeon include torture rooms, torture games, guillotines, 4 cages, a feeding pit, uncanny private rooms, and overall, nightmare-fueled imagery. It is by far the most disturbing VRChat world I've seen, which makes sense given the guy who made it.
I'm actually amazed that some of the bad content has survived years without VRChat intervening at all. I mean, it would only take one of their moderators 5 seconds after joining one of these servers or looking up the avatars. Yes, before you ask in the comments, this is a avatar with a docs on it. I obviously blurred out all the personal info just to play it safe. Now, here's an example of something that you could potentially see in a public VRChat lobby. And that's just scratching the surface. Far more sinister things happen behind scenes in private worlds. You would think that if a VRChat moderator saw all of this NSFW content, that they would just wipe it off the platform and euthanize it. But here's the issue. In my opinion, I haven't seen that many moderators doing actually anything in the first place, so it makes me question if they even care, or if they're just as bad as half of these people in VRChat. Because I've seen a lot of bad things in this game that just doesn't get moderated at all. Like this, or this. Now I want you to meet Crimson Angel 95 and my good friend Unholy. They are both avid players in VRChat that hang out in the worlds frequently. Do you think VRChat should separate NSFW content on the game so kids don't run into it on VRChat?
In my opinion, no parent should be buying their child a Quest 2 for Christmas or their birthday at all, period. And in my opinion, VRChat should just be 18 plus right off the bat. But even if it was, it doesn't matter because people can still just lie on the age like they do now, because right now VRChat is 13 plus. But as we all know, I'm pretty sure we've all seen people under 13 on here. Like, this is the game predators play for whatever reason, because it's just so easy to meet and hook up with the minors. Like, it's insanely easy, and it's not a good thing. There's a very dark side to this whole game. So,
what's the weirdest thing you've seen in VRChat?
ERPing in the public lobby. I don't believe in ERPing.
You don't?
It's just gross, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's fair, bro. That's
gross.
fair.
It's just weird. Why not just do it in real life? Goddamn.
So how many hours do you have in this game?
5,000 hours?
Since the end of 2019, with 6,000 plus hours on Steam VR.
Why do you think that VRChat allows NSFW content?
Oh, no, they don't. They don't allow it. It's just people find a way to get around the rules.
Why do they allow it? I don't think it's that they allow it. It's that there's nothing they can really do to stop people from making it. And, you know, like, if there's a will, there's going to be a way. And, you know, people want to fuck, so.
VRChat on their community guidelines doesn't want to state that it isn't okay to do these things in their game. However, them not stating that has led to multiple accounts of people doing sexual things in this game, regardless if it's private. Even back in 2014, when the game released, the VRChat CEO was asked if lewd content is going to be allowed, and he stated,
"Are you drawing the line at anything in terms of content, Jesse and Graham? Are you guys drawing it? Like, can I have my own sex dungeon room in VRChat and have all sorts of animal sex, rabbit on horse?
Because it's a custom
peacock.
Custom content platform, it's actually really difficult to prevent that. What we really want to do is we want to have a safe place for people to visit without really limiting people's freedoms also. What we'd like to have is good moderator controls and stuff like that. And if you're going to build something that is, risque in any way or somebody might find offensive, then we want to give you the ability to flag it and say, yeah, this isn't for everybody. Or to password your room so that only people you invite in can go. And we also want to give other users the ability to say, I don't want to see that stuff, and so I don't have to. But it's a user-generated platform, and, people have been making that stuff as long as they've been building user-generated content.
Right.
So we couldn't stop it, but we just wanted to have a safe place for people to be too.
VRChat advertises for developers to create, share, and play, and they've advertised the platform as a way for people to socialize. The platform allowing anyone to play means more players. It was a smart move for the corporation, but the problem is VRChat seems to have shifted from wanting the best for their players and the safety of minors to just sitting and watching bad things happen.
Oh yeah, that's like the biggest problem with this entire thing. You can look up multiple IRL, I know at least 3 different ones that have been on the news of accounts of older men trying to hook up with underage men or women on VRChat and meeting them from VRChat.
Now let's look at this. I'd like to bring up some stats that were released a couple of months ago that shed light on 2 major issues that we are talking about. A survey was taken in VRChat and 1,000 people were questioned what their age was. The results were showing that the 2 biggest portions of the pie chart were 35% over 21 years old and the other portion being 32% 16 years old and under. This shows that there's a huge mix of adults and minors prevalent on the platform. Following that, in the same survey, 1,000 people were also asked, "Have you ever been groomed in VRChat?" And the results were disturbing, to put it simple. 58% said no, while 42% said yes, they have been groomed in VRChat. That is almost half of the portion of people asked. It feels almost like VRChat itself really doesn't care about its problem when the platform is changed for the worse. There are a lot of issues in this game, and the moderators can't exactly control every single thing, unfortunately. However, we must acknowledge this isn't fully VRChat's fault. If VRChat were to change the age rating to 18+, it could only potentially fix said issues. However, it isn't that simple. Even if they were to add age verification, people could lie about their age. Someone could use a fake ID to get in the game or get the game. It isn't fully the game's fault. But because a few of the people in the game are bad, that's the reason for a lot of said problems. And in this next chapter, my friend Tanjiro will show you an example of someone who used the game's social ability to take advantage of somebody.
The year is 1996 and Aaron Zeman was born. However, what the parents didn't realize is that exactly 26 years in the future, he'll be an infamous monster who would kidnap a minor that he just met off of Roblox and VRChat.
Aaron Zeman, one of the most notorious members in the VRChat community. The year is 2022. Aaron Zeman would go on to commit heinous crimes, and the craziest part is, he did all of this on the internet for the world to see. Well known online as Hunter Fox, Tadashi Kojima, or Aaron Zeman in real life, living by himself in Tucson, Arizona, he had somewhat unique interest. He was involved in the furry subculture, a community full of enthusiasts of anthropomorphic animals. Because of this, most of his time was spent in virtual chat rooms and social media. His online presence relevant to the story began in July of 2022, with the creation of the Twitter account Hunter Floofy Fox. As Aaron frequently interacted with other users, these conversations tended to veer into his fetishes as they publicly engaged in roleplay and erotic acts. Amongst the circle, for his friendly demeanor, he was rewarded with over 400 followers, and in the first week he became an active addition to the community. He eventually amassed over 1,000 followers, so he decided to create a Discord for his friends. One of these people would be a 13-year-old boy that we will refer to as Evan. Evan was a boy who was also interested in the furry subculture. Now initially, Aaron and him met on Roblox before Aaron suggested that they talk on VRChat instead. On VRChat, Aaron gained this teenager's trust by consoling him about his personal issues and mental health problems. Examples of this can be seen in their interactions on Twitter.
October 4th, Evan tweeted, "Almost out of school, after the bus home, I'm getting my dad's gun and blowing my head off."
To which Aaron replied, "I don't know what's got you feeling down, but just know that I love you, bro. I may not know you, but I love you." Evan was very open about his age, and this back and forth makes it apparent that Aaron was aware, but disturbingly enough, he persisted in attempting to date and have sexual acts with him. Given Evan was quite troubled, tweeting about his unstable home life and drinking problem, the man's support seemed very generous.
And with time, the two interacted more and more, with many of their convos having clear flirtatious connotations. It wasn't long before Aaron was calling the teen pet names and professing to love him with all of his heart. Keep in mind that all of this is only what's publicly available. They were talking constantly over Discord, sometimes offhandedly referencing intimate moments. It was later revealed that they spoke on FaceTime. By November, there was no ambiguity either the two were dating, as they alluded to having relations together. Thankfully, this wasn't possible as Evan lived over 700 miles away in Layton, Utah, but as Aaron became more and more obsessed, he grew committed to overcoming that obstacle.
On November 14th, Aaron tweeted that he had a busy day getting ready to move to a new state. When someone asked, "Where?" he replied, "Utah." With Aaron moving to the teen's home state, the story began taking an even darker turn, but thankfully that was halted in late November when Evan's mom uncovered the relationship. Looking through her son's phone, she found inappropriate and often illegal conversations. She confiscated his devices and she reported the incident to the cops. The cops opened an investigation and instructed her to prevent them from interacting any farther. Now I assume that this likely took place on the 20th, because that's when all of the activity on Evan's Twitter account stopped. And after that, it appears that somehow Aaron still caught wind of what happened, because the next day he started making vague tweets alluding to the situation. He stated, "My boyfriend has a lot going on, so I won't be hearing much from him for a while." This tweet also alludes to his laptop's hard drive being damaged, coincidentally at the same time. But unlike Evan, he remained active on the account instead of hiding like one would. He would notably take a brief absence on November 26, claiming family emergencies and catastrophes back to back. But amidst his delusion, for weeks the constant tweets about Evan continued, even after they'd lost contact.
At first, Hunter would make tweets about how he got a loving boyfriend and how his life became so much more positive after meeting him almost every single day. Hunter having a boyfriend affected his life so much that he wrote an entire poem dedicated to the love of his life. Not only that, he's drawn these pictures. Which are creepy, but the lamb in this disturbing drawing represents Hunter's boyfriend, to whom he would start calling them by Lamb. This drawing later became the cover of his novel. The book was written defining their relationship as one of predator and prey. For one example, one part of it says that they will love one another despite what anyone said about Evan being a minor and how long they had to wait. Hunter would continue making tweets once more about positivity in their lamb. Around December 13th, they shared to the world about how they heard their boyfriend's voice for the first time. After publishing this tweet, they will follow up by stating that they're going to be camping for Christmas, along with a selfie that he posted minutes later. Aaron would begin excitedly tweeting about the preparation of his Christmas camping trip, along with religious quotes and how thrilled he is for the adventure. But what's interesting is that he shared information that he's going to be camping with his lamb. After this, Aaron will be almost finished with his preparations, so he posted pictures of interesting things they will be bringing along with the intent of going on 2 kinds of trips. Furthermore, around December 19th, Aaron announced that he'll be getting married to his lamb while they're on the trail. Within that same hour, the Layton City Police Department would issue an Amber Alert within the state of Utah as a 13-year-old boy had gone missing. In their statement, the boy was believed to have left her home on a late Monday night to meet up with the suspect with the intent on possibly traveling to Arizona or Texas on their Facebook post. And that prime suspect was Hunter Fox, aka Aaron Zeman. Less than 48 hours since that Amber Alert went out, on December 26, Aaron Zeman was traveling with a 13-year-old boy and stopped in Grand Isle, Nebraska at a gas station. The attendants who were working at that time noticed something suspicious when both Aaron and the minor had been in the car far too long, so he called up the police and they immediately responded. When the officers arrived, they found the 13-year-old boy sitting in the car and the suspect, Aaron Zeman. At first, Aaron began to resist the officers when they tried to arrest him, but fortunately, he was placed in handcuffs and the boy reunited with his family back to Utah. Ultimately, Aaron was charged with kidnapping and resisting his arrest. His bond has been set to $100,000 and his hearing has been set on January 30th at 2 p.m. And as the news broke out, Twitter user YamiVR would spread awareness of the monster who kidnapped a 13-year-old kid. But unbeknownst to the newcomers who only saw the top tweets that Aaron posted were a series of chilling tweets about loving his lamb that came from his depraved and perverted mind and his tone for his preparation with the intent of meeting him in real life. Especially the drawings he made where he depicted himself, a 26-year-old grown man, as the fox and the 13-year-old boy as the lamb.
Each night before you go to bed, my baby. gonna do that? Think about it. Could you trust someone whose name and face you don't even know? You still don't understand human beings. In this world, there are very few people who actually trust each other.
Being anonymous on the internet allows people to be as hateful and destructive as they wish. But in real life, there are more consequences if people said what they truly thought in a face-to-face conversation. Insults and accusations fly quicker when you don't know who you're talking to, because most of the internet is full of anonymity. It's very easy to say something to somebody you don't know. VRChat is full of loads of anonymous people, and when you put all of them together, unfortunately you can get a few bad scenarios.
No. He's being a nigger. Listen to this snap. No, dude. No, no, you can't say that. You can't just say that.
The purpose of the game is to socialize, and being anonymous makes it a unique perspective to the player. You can meet people you would never have expected to meet. You can meet someone all the way across the globe. Okay, we get the point. But that's the thing. There is a certainty to the internet that is impossible to deny. You can't trust everyone. And this same concept applies to VRChat. Because once you start playing and you put on your headset, you become nothing more than another stranger in the metaverse. Your status, intellect, wealth, and athleticism, none of it matters at that point, because you are now a part of the game. And if everyone is different, it begs the question, how can you tell that a person you're talking to online can be trusted? Especially when you just met on VRChat.
Hey, listen. What's the #1 rule of VRChat?
I guess don't trust people in the game?
Exactly. Everyone knows, including yourself, that you need to do your own investigation. So stop being so fucking naive and wake up.
So I realized if I wanted to be able to prove to you that in this game, some individuals have taken advantage of others, I'd have to find or investigate someone who's done bad things. And although I know it's a dirty job to go find and investigate somebody in the game, I realize that somebody's gotta do it. Now, despite the reporting feature, the unfortunate reality about social media is no matter what platform you go on, you're always going to run into at least one person with awful intentions. VRChat as a platform was made for strangers to meet, and sometimes that's a good thing. But when you meet the wrong person, anything can happen. There's a lot of bad situations that people get put into. Abuse, harassment, and many more are common things in and out of the metaverse. There are many people you can run into in this game that do just that. And like I just mentioned, I'd have to investigate and have a run-in with one of those people. But first, in order to explain the history of this person that I've run into, I'll have to show you how we've uncovered their dark past. I was playing some Rust and talking to one of my friends when somebody added me on Discord. Now, regrettably, I didn't click immediately, but that was because I was really invested in my game. 2 AM. Someone by the name of Bella added me. Now, I thought nothing of it because usually I have a lot of people from video games adding me, and I just meet a lot of people through Steam and I make a lot of friends online. But I was really curious on who they were and why did they add me. However, 12 minutes later after some time passed, they sent me a message.
I'm doing my best to remain anonymous, but someone in this club is a predator, and they threatened me a while back when I tried to share the info.
Now, since I was very intrigued, I instantly got off my game and began looking into it. The picture attached to the message, she said depicted a VR Discord server named Club Heartbreaker. Since I've never heard of it, I tried looking it up and finding info on when and who owned this club. However, to my surprise, I couldn't even find who the creator of Club Heartbreaker was, or anyone who was in it. It seemed to be non-existent, as if there was no trace of it to begin with. But I wanted to give justice to Bella because something happened to her. But I was just unsure where to start. After looking around for what seemed like days, I ultimately decided that this is probably a dead end, because I clearly have no idea where to look. However, despite not finding anything, it made me realize one thing. I still didn't even know who the creator of this club was, and that made me drop this for a while to pursue other projects. Although I felt like I failed, I decided as a last resort and a final stand, before I go to sleep tonight, I'll send a few messages to my friends asking if they hopefully have heard of Club Heartbreaker. So I went to sleep. Sadly. Last night, I got a response from my old friend Serocco, who I met in VRChat, saying that he's vaguely heard about the creator closing the club down, and vaguely have heard of it only in passing from 2 dancer friends. But that was more than the lead that I needed. Instantly, I thought to myself, wow, this club might actually exist, and hopefully we can piece everything together and find out who did this to Bella. So I sent Serocco a message asking if he hopefully knows anything about the controversy surrounding the club.
Club Heartbreaker. I've heard of it. I've never actually been there, but I remember hearing through the grapevine, through a couple of my friends, that it broke up because of some controversy involving the owner. The owner of Club Heartbreaker shut down the club because people found out that he was preying on minors. I'm not sure how true that was, but I tried to talk to a friend of mine who I thought had some more information, but they don't have much. I wish I could help a little bit more.
I was really curious on who ran this club, because I assumed that they were the person who did all this to Bella. However, when I really asked a lot of people, it seemed that nobody knew. It makes sense that Bella wanted this person to realize what they did was wrong. She sent me the lead to have me look into this Discord server and find out who this person was. They must have tried intimidating her to keep her quiet. But there was still one gnawing mystery left. The prime suspect's name. I wanted now more than ever to finally identify this individual. But the issue at hand was this server was wiped from existence, and it seemed that nobody knew why. It made me sad because I didn't know how to help, so I crossed my fingers and decided to message them if they were comfortable speaking about it, and if they could help me find the culprit's name. Bella later responded, quote,
"They have a username. The username starts with a G."
And while this is far from the conclusive answer I'd wanted, for example, we weren't even able to find out the culprit's name. And yeah, we could say this is better than nothing. I mean, even if we weren't destined to learn this individual's name, at least we know it was somebody who, I guess, went with the name starting with G. I sent Bella a thank you message, gently suggesting that I wished we knew just a little bit more. And then I tried to put the whole thing out of my mind. And in the time since sending that message, I've been trying to talk myself into believing that this was the closure that we needed. This was good enough of an answer. And you know, maybe it is. I mean, look, was every little question I know about this person answered? Was every question about this club answered? No, it may not have been to my satisfaction. But at the end of the day, Hang on.
I've decided to tell you. I think their name is Ghost007, but I think they have more in their username.
Ghost007. Just as I think I'm done with this story, I get a third totally unexpected message from Bella. At the time of writing this, when I received this message, I dropped everything and went through my footage from a week prior because I distinctly remembered that name. But I just didn't know who it was or where it came from. I was sorting through all of the interviews when I found one that stood out. I remember this one because despite most strangers who told me their stories, not one time did I expect to interview one person who behind the avatar could be so awful. Everything was connecting. I had no idea who the culprit could have been. I looked and I asked people everywhere. I didn't even know where to start. Until I remembered earlier on for this exact video that I interviewed someone a week ago. And it turns out that after reviewing, the suspect by the name of Ghost 007 is actually Unholy Ghost 007. Unholy. Briefly, I take a moment to acknowledge the situation, because at the very start of this process, I'd set out to answer who is he, and who is the owner of Club Heartbreaker. When this process began, solving even one of these mysteries had felt like a complete long shot. And yet, thanks to my new anonymous friend Bella, we'd managed to uncover the answers to 2 of these questions. Then on that night, Bella sent one final message. I continue reading.
If you want to know what he really did, you may have to look into it yourself. But here's a drive of all the evidence against him. This is the truth.
Look, on some deep subconscious level, I think we all must have known that this would be the outcome. We all knew most likely, eventually we were probably going to run into evidence of someone doing one of these things. So realistically, logically, of course this was the case. But despite that, the logic of it didn't make this news any easier to swallow. But let's get the details down and start from the beginning. The individual's name was finally revealed, Unholy Ghost 007, someone that we met earlier on in this video who we thought was a good person. And it turned out they weren't. Now, despite how much Unholy is someone who doesn't deserve fame at all or to even be in this video, this is going to be for awareness. We're about to get into much darker themes. So to hopefully give you guys a better understanding of everything that he has done, I'm going to present all of the evidence on him. I'll do my best to go into as much detail as possible because I want to show you guys how much this dude actually sucks.
So, you finally realized that some people here really do suck.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to avoid. I know I can't exactly help Bella, and maybe I can't stop Ghost and save anyone from the dangers he puts them in, but
Relax. You can't save everyone. You can try to change him, but some people are set in their ways for life. So, you know he's a criminal, but what will you do? Better yet, what can you do? I know. Show the people who he really is, his true nature. Sometimes, all it takes is the spotlight.
Well, fuck. I might as well finish what I started. Okay. Allow me to properly introduce myself. My name's Akumi, and today I will be talking about a malicious individual who's been in the VR scene for quite a while now. Now, I've been investigating him for the past month, and I've decided to finally discuss everything we have on him. This individual is known as Unholy Ghost 007, also known as Dylan, a wannabe pro gamer, a Cav Scout who served in the United States Army, who is now a disgusting serial pedophile. So today, we will be shedding light on all of his actions. So I want you guys to sit back and enjoy the show. Also, don't forget to grab your popcorn and drinks, because we're just getting started. One thing we need to discuss is before Bella, there was another victim named Violet. Unholy Ghost has a history, and he is no stranger to messaging minors. In this Google Drive was plenty of evidence to look into him, and it was proof concluding that Ghost was indeed the owner of Club Heartbreaker. Now let me apply some context. We will go through some of the screenshots and footage in the evidence folder that will show you all of Ghost's true colors. Now let's begin with the first screenshots between him and a minor by the name of Violet Ghost. In this conversation, he asked how old she is, and she states that she is still in school and underage. He responds stating he is 21, but that is the first sign of him not caring how old she is, despite it being illegal and immoral. To give you the perspective of what the age gap is, that is like a junior in high school dating a sophomore in college. 30 minutes later, the two got into a conversation about how they are tired of being single. This was where it all went downhill. Unholy responded by saying, "Come on, claim me," despite knowing that the individual he was talking to behind the screen was a minor. Legally, where he is from, it was wrong, because where he is from, the age of consent is 18. But even when he knew the age gap, it clearly didn't stop him, because he was thinking with ulterior motives and was self-aware the entire time. Around this time, Violet was helping him run Club Heartbreaker when he was caught ERPing and having sex over VRChat with her. She was underage at the time, but that didn't stop him then.
Me and Violet ERP'd and she said she was 18, so I went with it. She cried and told me she was 17 when I was ERPing with her, and said I raped her in VR by taking advantage when she was drunk. She tried turning all my friends against me, but it obviously didn't work, since my friends heard her say she was 18. All my friends backed me up, and it's obviously impossible to rape someone over VR, because it's a game and not real life.
Now, I don't doubt in my mind for a second that he knew her age. He asked her in the previous messages prior to them ERPing, and she stated that she was young. It's ridiculous how when he's confronted, he starts playing the victim. Now, whether she lied about her age or not at the time, her bio said she was underage, and despite that, he still interacted with her. And when he was confronted about it, he acted like he didn't know what the Chapter 17 meant in her bio, yet he confirms he saw it. Now, Dylan, I know you're watching this. You may state multiple times that you didn't meet her in real life, but that doesn't change the fact that you were self-aware and you had sexual interactions with someone underage online. And you're probably gonna say that this is all drama from the past and you've changed. Well, I'm here to show you, Dylan, that you haven't changed. Now, for me personally, these screenshots weren't enough, and I was worried about spreading misinformation. I mean, I could easily get into how we faked a coma. I could do much more with just screenshots, but I decided to upload that separately in the description and put him really to the test in this video. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and see if he's actually innocent. So I decided that we will have to look into him and find a little bit more. This is Unholy Ghost, and this is what he did.
Faggot, pussy, piece of shit. I don't believe in ERP.
So give it a call, fellas. I just want you kind of explain your talk.
Now, within seconds of him giving us his phone number, we decided to do a little thing that we like to call search and destroy. Funny thing, really. If you get somebody's phone number, you can scan the internet and find just about all of the personal information you need. But I can tell you one thing. We found him within mere minutes of finding out what his name is. And after that, we embarked on an excursion to hunt him down, finding his face across all social media and web scraping for every last minute detail. Apparently Dylan had quite the online presence, and as a longtime fan of his livestream, we unquestionably recognized his face everywhere. And now for our final drop of evidence. We decided to make a fake account under the name Mia Isaka on Snapchat and Discord. We wanted to see if he would fall for the bait. Of course, he had his username on his VRChat profile, so it was quite easy for us to find him. Within mere minutes of us adding him, pretending to be a teenage girl, Dylan swiped into our DMs excitedly and responded. We told him that we were 16, wanting to be friends. He agreed, but acknowledged that she was underage and said he didn't want to get in trouble. That changed very quickly. He knew the gravity of the situation, yet he still continued on with her. Meanwhile, on Discord, a conversation was brewing trying to meet up in person with him. He was entirely fine with meeting a minor in person, and he didn't decline doing anything either. And as the conversation continued, I decided to play into seeing how far he would go. Eventually, it led to a Discord call, so I got my good friend to talk to him and play the part. Was the voice of our fake account. She was Mia, essentially.
I had to be a bit quiet right now.
How's your mic? How does your freaking mic sound so good?
I have a pretty good mic, to be honest. You look like you're sleepy.
Oh, I just woke up. I'm still waking up. Takes me a while. You know, this is the first time I rarely show my face to anyone anymore.
He says he never shows his face to people, but he's showing it to a minor he just met in call.
Oh, why's that?
Because of my persona in Holy Ghost 007. Yeah, I don't show my face to anyone anymore. Well, I did at first, and I showed a couple people, and then they tried to spread my pictures around, and I was able to stop them and stuff. I just filed a lawsuit, and they got in trouble.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Unholy. Shoot for the stars. It'll make it more fun when your actions kick you right back down into the dirt.
Yeah, there's a lot of, weird people nowadays.
They're telling me it's like a VRChat now.
Yeah, there's I feel bad.
There's our fucking furry clan now.
Oh no! I just realized,
yeah, they go in the lobbies and they crash everybody with their furry outfits.
Wait, how are you playing VR? You said you didn't have a PC. How are you playing VRChat without a PC?
Quest.
Oh.
I'm a questy.
It's okay.
I'm a broke ass.
Alright, now before I show you the following clip, I want you to know and take note that is actually 24, but Unholy believed that she was 16 because that's what we told him. We wanted to see if he would go after someone who was 16, and I guess you'll have to see what happens.
You want to see it? There, it's soft right now. Once you turn 18, of course.
Oh?
Hey, that's something for you to look forward to.
Yes, that is unfortunately what you think it is. He showed his dick to someone he knows is 16 years old. But this isn't his first time showing anything, because over on Snapchat, he was sending solicited pictures as well. He was also stating how he was okay with doing this type of stuff on VR only. He was clearly taking the bait more and more as things went on, but he kept repeating how he would rather do it in VR in general. He is aware of the fact that she's underage, yet he is still going through with it.
Turn on your camera. I'm trying to stare at this white screen. Wait, that will convince you? There you go. You see my pierced nipple firsthand.
A bit too nervous though, but if you want, maybe VRChat.
You want to hop on VRChat?
We could. I mean, I can just wait a bit and, we can have a little bit of fun then.
Maybe. Just don't get me in trouble for the first time confused about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But throughout the course of the Discord call, he eventually convinces her to hop on VRChat, and an hour later, things would go from bad to worse.
Or do you want me to call you on Discord, or do you want to call each other on Discord on our phones and just masturbate while on VR?
You want me now, even though I'm 16 on VRChat?
I wish you were of age to consent right now. So I don't go to jail.
Are you touching yourself?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
No, nowhere. I was just talking to myself.
I think you can tell I'm really trying not to. Friend.
I know, I feel bad.
Hey, even though I'm 16, I got a question. Not in real life, but if you had full body, would you fuck me in VRChat?
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted me to. If you want it, come get it.
I can't yet. I had to wait a year.
The states for the age of consent: 16 in Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Connecticut, Georgia, Hawaii, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana. Oh boy.
Bro, what the fuck?
Age of consent: Washington, Nevada, Montana.
It's still illegal because
New
he's
Mexico,
meeting a
South
minor,
Dakota, North
like,
Dakota, Nebraska,
intentionally going to another
Oklahoma,
country, pretty sure, or in the state.
Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it goes off of where you live.
New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. And then 18 years old is California, Oregon, Idaho. It's 12 years old to fly alone.
The footage says most of it for me. He knows that she is underage, yet he simply doesn't care. Days after this footage took place, he was so scared that he blocked Mia and started sending threats from an alternate account named Eternal Soul. Ghost has no idea who Mia is, and rightfully so, because Mia doesn't exist. Mia is not real. I guess you could say Mia is the friends we made along the way. But the fact that he tried to IP grab me and he thought that I lived in Canada really just added a lot of humor to the situation. I mean, the entire situation is quite hilarious, actually. I mean, how did he believe any of it? I messaged him like I was a Fed, bro. Like, how do you fall for this shit? I mean, hey, come on up to my tea party in the middle of this minefield. Don't mind the razor wire. We have cookies. Anyways, like I said, it was really unbelievable. And the sad part is, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. But remember, kids, the next time you think you can trust people online, no, you can't. Worst of all, when I tried confronting him about it, I joined his Discord server and I befriended him, thinking I could start a movie night in his server. The very next day, I started my movie night, and while watching a YouTube video, I decided to confront him and bring up the evidence. This is what happened.
Once the group entered the core...
Yo. Unholy.
What's up?
I got another movie that I want to show you. I think you might like recognize it or something. Because it's pretty popular, actually.
What's the movie?
Are you on my screen share?
What's it called?
Here, I'll put it on my screen. So,
what's it called?
Do you see this person right here? Do you know how old that girl is in this clip? How old is she, Unholy?
I don't know who you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about? What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? I mean, you messaged her. I have the screenshot right here.
No, I didn't.
Look, she said, how old are you again? You said 21. Yeah, you can come to me. Then she said, we can do whatever you want when I visit, even though I'm 16. You're still okay with that? I guess that's it, guys. I guess, okay, well, I guess he's not gonna respond, so... He didn't acknowledge it. I showed him the screenshot. I showed him the video. He knows what he did. And as of today, unfortunately, Unholy Ghost is a free man. Hopefully, he doesn't keep doing the things that he's been doing, and hopefully he learns after this video is released. The main problem is he doesn't want to acknowledge what he's done wrong. And I think ultimately, the whole end to the story is that Unholy Ghost has caused his own downfall. He doesn't want to learn, he doesn't want to change, and he'd rather keep doing the same things and not acknowledging it. Now I really hope that he'll learn after this video, but I guess time will tell.
All I can say is I hope he really does change. I want him to realize he is wrong and doesn't hurt anybody else.
It's terrible that Bella had been betrayed by someone she thought was a good person. And it took a long time for her to find the courage to come forward. But I'm just hoping he will learn and that this puts an end to his actions. Unholy Ghost 007 was an example. I needed to show the point that I was trying to make. And my final message for you, the viewer, is if you don't take anything from this video, please just take this. Be aware. VRChat is a game and alternate reality where you can de-stress and spend time with your friends. And I know there's difficult times going on right now, and it's easy to just go talk to people online. And by all means, do that. Play this game as much as you'd like. But now that you've seen this video, I want to ask a favor from you. If you see any of your friends dealing with something dangerous online, don't ignore it. Don't act like it's just going to go away. I want you to step up and actually help them out. I don't make these videos just to entertain, but I want to equip you guys with the knowledge to make a difference and make the world a better place. But at the end of the day, it isn't about making this video just for money. It's about spreading a message. So here's my final words. Here is my message. Now that we have full understanding of the reasons for VRChat's darkest corners, and you've seen an example of someone bad in VRChat, we can confidently state that the game needs help. With the constant increase of degenerate content online and disgusting rumors that plague the internet itself, this game is not slowly getting worse. It isn't happening next year. This is happening right now. And after a couple of years, VRChat's problems will become a level of unsavable. This will result in more disturbing incidents happening in this game. It will be on the news, if it isn't already. And at the end of this long list of unfortunate events, you will end up looking at your list of friends thinking every single one is not safe. Maybe even add someone, and after a couple of seconds later, you have to block them because they're toxic. After that, you decide to open up YouTube and you find this video, and you realize how much of a fuck up this game has become. And in the end of this endless stream of complaints, who really is to blame? The CEOs developing it, parents buying their kids VR headsets, VRChat for allowing kids in the game all in the name of financial profit. And isn't VRChat running because of us? We fund it with VRChat Plus subscription, so is it us? Is our own biology behind this fatal epidemic, enforced not by companies but by ourselves? This is not a critique of capitalism, but rather than the leaders behind it, the refuse to act for a greater good, the widespread egocentric way of living, and how our modern society has done nothing but make it worse. Because at the end of the day, what does actually really truly matter? This is a critique of the human race and our collective choice to always put our ego first. This is a critique of the hundreds of companies using and abusing the very biology that brought them there. People refusing to act with any regard to moral ethics, refusing to keep children off of a game that is full of NSFW content, doxing, fucked up people, and of course, at the very end of the day, all of this is on VRChat.